It's time for Expert Alert, your chance to ask questions and get answers from experts.
Well, good morning and thanks for joining us on our WLOX streaming platforms for this week's Expert Alert. We're here every Thursday talking to the experts. And listen, if you'd like to ask our expert a question and you are watching us on Facebook, or if you'd like to ask questions and you're not, then you should go to Facebook because I have the app open right here. This is where you'll put your questions, right? So put them right here in the comments. I will look down from time to time to see if there are any questions. We'll ask the expert the questions in real time so that you can get your questions answered by the expert. Expert Alert. You see what we're doing here? So today we are talking to Chance with Tillman Services. How are you? Good to see you again.
I'm doing good. How you doing, Chet?
I'm well. It was cold last time we were here, and now it's
80 degrees.
Feels like spring, almost summer maybe.
Crazy, South Mississippi.
Give it a couple of days and it'll be 20 degrees and we'll get sick.
That's right. On off with the cold.
But that's job security for you, right?
Well, it's really job security for the healthcare division.
That too.
Right. I know a lot of people are getting the flu right now from this hot, cold stuff. So that's just more important reasons, change your filter, take care of that indoor air quality. It's that time of year. So
what are, aside from the fact that it's not working the way it should, what are some of the things that you would begin to notice if it's time to have your system looked at?
So what you want to make sure is it's got a proper run time. It's not running too long or it's not running too short. Another thing would be is that power bill. When that power bill comes in, you see it start to creep up, man, it's time to start thinking about that unit because 60% of your power bill is your air conditioning system. So if we could get that more efficient and save a little money on the power bill, we know that unit's doing the right job inside the home.
Now, I'm probably am not doing this correctly, and I'm sure you're going to tell me when we get to it. I crank my thermostat up when I leave. Mm-hmm. I have a smart thermostat, and so at 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm usually already here by then, but that's when it raises my temperature. I think it goes up to like 78 or 80 because there's no one there.
Right.
And then it doesn't begin to come down. It doesn't come down to I think it slowly walks back down. I think I have it coming on at like 5 o'clock.
Right.
It goes down to like 76 and it walks back down. Is it okay to have it because I guess when we get into the summer that becomes a challenge because then your air conditioning is like really pumping out a lot of cool air if it's really high.
Right.
For example, right now,
harder.
I don't think it gets above 74, 75 while I'm gone, even though I have it set so high.
Right.
But during the summer, that could get up to like 82, 83 really quick, and then you're getting it's really working to cool back off. What's that comfortable area that you need to leave it at if you're not going to be home and you want to save?
So Mississippi Power, says 78, and that's a great number to go to. We can go back to that 20-degree difference. It's 98 outside, 78 in the home, 48 outside, 68 in the home. Those are great numbers to try to achieve. What we're really trying to do is not make that unit work from 12 to 2. And I know you've heard the power companies giving extra money when you shut your system off and you can get that
time of use.
Right, time of use. So, basically what that's saying is from 12 to 2, because the sun's right above us, it's cooking your home, that unit's gonna be working its heart out. It's doing everything it can do to keep your home comfortable. Raising that temperature up, giving it a little relief during that part of the day, really going to help your power bill. Also going to help the longevity of the unit, right? Because it's not trying to fight this battle with Mike Tyson every day at 2 o'clock, you know what I mean?
There's that. I mean, unless you're Jake Paul, then it doesn't matter, right? That's a conversation for another day. What can you do? We mentioned, kind of giving it extra life, aside from in the summertime putting a tent outside
right.
of your unit. What can you do to help that system, the system last longer?
Changing your filters and regular maintenance are really going to get the life expectancy out of that unit. Manufacturers give us 10-year warranty because they expect it to last 10 years. If we can get that 12 to 15 years out of a system, we've really got all of our bang for the buck out of it. Changing that filter, making sure it's not having to work when it doesn't have to work. If nobody's home, raising that temperature up, giving it a little break. Taking care of it like you do your car. You get your car oil changes every 3,000 miles. Let's change that filter every 3 months. You're rotating your tires. Let's make sure we're getting in there and changing those capacitors and doing checks of the system internally.
So whenever you mention routine maintenance, that means that if I'm thinking of having the maintenance done, that means that I've got to have people in my house. What does that process look like?
So we come in, it takes us about 2 hours to go through your whole system. Our maintenance program is 2 HVAC and 2 heating visits a year and 1 plumbing visit a year. We inspect, your faucets, your sinks, your hot water tank, make sure you don't have drips, your toilets, your flanges, nothing's wiggling, everything's tight. Same with your AC. We're going to check your filters. We're going to check your amp draws. We're going to check your capacitors, the voltage. Make sure everything's tight, doing its job, and not, if you got loose wires and they arc, that causes power to go up. So making sure everything's tight and just doing its job and nailed down, right? So coming in twice a year is just going to make sure that unit's ready for the next season. So we like to come in at the end of spring, get you ready for the summer, and then we like to come in at the end of fall, get you ready for the winter. Then whenever that plumbing's most convenient for you. We have girls in the office that can reach out to you, remind you of those upcoming visits, and get them scheduled to when it's convenient to you, right?
So is that something that even if you haven't installed my system, like I could call and say, I want to get on a maintenance plan regardless of whether or not you were the person I bought it from?
So I'm here to serve everybody. Just because I didn't do it the first time, and you went with a different guy, you might want to try a different company, get a better peace of mind out of your system, so knowing that it's getting serviced, getting taken up by professionals. So for us, yeah, I'll do anybody's systems. Like I say, first responders, I'll do them for free. It's the same maintenance agreement for first responders as people that are paying $224 a year. So.
And that's not to say that you maybe had it installed by somebody else, but if you just bought a new house,
right,
and you don't have that, a lot of folks will have, some folks will have a home warranty. Those are kind of popular now. When you buy a house, it comes with a home warranty.
Right.
That's kind of the thing that's being worked into it. But if you don't have something like that, it's good to have somebody like yourself, like your team, ready to go to service that. Because let's be honest, the most frustrating piece. I'm taking my car right now because the AC is not working in my car. It's only 2 years old. Ask me how happy I am about that. But the thing is that's what you need the most. When you get home, you don't want to be comfortable,
right,
whether it's cold outside or hot outside, and you want to make sure that AC is running. So I want to make sure that I have somebody ready to go that I can call that already is familiar with my unit. Right. That's already looked at it. Is that kind of the approach that you take?
So with our maintenance contracts, you're going to be high priority. So if you're a maintenance member of mine, you're not going to pay overtime charges. You're not going to pay weekend charges. You're going to be moved to the front of the list. If you call in with a problem, I'm going to make sure you're taken care of, because like I say, if I have you on a maintenance contract, that's my baby in your home, right? And I want to make sure that everything I'm doing is serving you in the best way it can. So like I say, maintenance contracts, call in on a Saturday, they need something, there's no weekend charge, it's a regular rate, and we'll get out there as soon as possible to them.
What are some of those other warning signs that let you know that, again, like I said, the fact that the cold air is not cold? What are some of those other things that you need to be on the lookout for to know that there's an issue?
So if you're seeing dust come out of your vents, right, you know that your system's pretty dirty, and it probably needs to be clean, taken care of, and that's going to make your system healthy. It's also going to make your home healthy, which is going to make you healthy, right? So if you're seeing dirt and dander come out of the vents, it's time to get a duct clean. If you're hearing loud noises or a big hum from a fan, then something's going on with that fan. The outdoor unit, you really shouldn't hear it coming on and off. If it sounds like a box of rocks out there, then it probably needs some oil, needs to be lubed up, needs to be ready to go, get its job done correctly. There's a lot of warning signs are a lot of times audible with AC systems, because you hear that fan moving, you hear those parts working, and then visual is going to be dirt signs like that.
What happens if your air conditioner, if you hear it cut off in the house, but then you hear like water dripping? Is that standard?
So what that is, that's just your P-trap. So your unit drops water out of it. That's a byproduct of air conditioning, is dehumidification. We're dropping the condensated water out of it. That water goes into a P-trap that would fill back up. Well, from hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, during the heat, we don't make condensation. So that P-trap dries up. So when you turn it off, you can hear it rushing. Negative airflow systems, if it's not piped with a P-trap, will hold that water, and then when you turn it off, you'll hear it flush because it doesn't have that P-trap. You shouldn't hear that noise. If you do, there's something going on. Like I say, audible is a lot of the times what's going to tell you something's wrong with the system. If you hear more than a blower pushing air, then something's going on with that system.
Give you a call when this segment is over. Okay, so listen. So whenever you come in whenever you're coming in for that tune-up, what does that consist of? Both, I guess, inside the house and outside the house.
So it really depends on which type of system you have. So if you have a gas system, then we're going to check your burners. We're going to run a camera inside your heat exchangers. We're going to make sure that you don't have any dust on those heat exchangers, that all the wires are tight, the blower is balanced, that you don't have any wheels vibrating. We're going to make sure the drain lines are clean, that they're insulated, right? That you don't have condensation going where it doesn't need to go. Outside, when we come to that unit, whether it's a heat pump or a straight cool, we're going to get the debris out of the inside of the unit. You know, those leaves fall through the top, they sit on the bottom.
Oh, you can see them, that's right.
And then they rust that bottom out. And that's why a lot of these manufacturers went to plastic, because they're like, our bottoms are rusting out and then our compressor falls over.
Oh.
So having that maintenance, having that stuff cleaned up, making sure that it's not going to rust out, it's not going to fall apart. You don't have a dilapidated unit because of just wear and tear, being outside in 100% humidity and direct sunlight. You know, it'll beat us up, it'll beat units up.
What about, so you mentioned about seeing dust coming out of the vents earlier, and it made me think of something. Then I forgot to ask, what if you're starting to see like more dust in the house? Like you don't see it come out of the vents, but you see more of an accumulation normally between the times that you're cleaning.
So that could be either you have a filtration issue, or it could be, you know, we have infiltration from the home, door seals, things like that. If you're seeing more dust, a lot of the times people now are keeping their windows open, like we talked about last time. You're letting that in the house. You know, you're letting the enemy in the gate when you do that. We talked about screens and all that, but you have to know how you're using it and what you're doing to that unit, because if you are having the doors open, windows open, you're going to have a lot more dust in your home. If you are doing that, then you do need to have better filter. You need to have some type of indoor air quality that's going to save you and the rest of your family from breathing that in all the time.
Let's talk about those filters. When you say a better filter, I immediately go to, when I'm at the hardware store, I see good, better, best on those disposable filters. When you say you need a better filter, what exactly are you referring to?
Disposable filters, when they say good, better, best, remember the mask that Fauci made us wear?
Yes.
Okay, so what you're doing is you're telling your unit, I'm going to buy this really expensive filter, but all it is a really thick mask. So you've made it harder for your system to breathe. Harder to breathe, higher the power bill, right? So what we sell is an electrostatic filter, where I'm actually using 24 volts electric to have a breathable filter where the air can bypass, but it's charged positively, so it catches dirt, bacteria, pollen, all those things are caught in it. I believe those are the best that you can have. Other than that, buy that cheap filter, let that system breathe, and change it out more often. That's the best way around it. More frequent changes of a cheaper filter is going to be easier on your unit than a 3-month filter that says it's going to last 3 months, but it's, you know, super thick and the unit can't do its job.
How is that, the filter you're referring to, how is it charged?
24 volts, it comes straight from the unit itself.
So it is powered through the unit?
Yeah, so the unit is powered by, 220, and then inside it has a transformer, it turns 24 volts, and that's how we control boards and all that. So we just tie into that board and we feed it with 24 volts. It's not 110, it's not going to shock you, it's not electrical, it's not exposed to you at all in any way. It's just as the air flows through it, we clean that air with the electrons.
How long has that been around?
It's a pretty long time. Actually, Train is the first one I know about to have it when they had a clean air effects probably about 20 years ago.
Wow.
And that thing's been in a long time. I've installed a lot of them. They still work good. This is just a smaller, more compact version of it. We've just made it better throughout the years. So shout out to that Clean Air Effects. It started it all. So
we're talking about P-traps. I know there's like, you want to run water through it. Is there like a rule of thumb when it comes to like opening up and pouring hot water or bleach or vinegar or anything into? What's that rule of thumb to keep it flowing so it doesn't get clogged up?
A cup of bleach every 6 months, right?
1 cup of bleach every 6 months.
So some people use vinegar because bleach is a little harsher in the air and they don't like the smell of bleach, and that's totally understandable.
Because the smell of vinegar is better, right?
Yeah, right. It's gonna work better. Bleach works better, right? It's disinfects as it cleans, so you get a double-sided thing. Vinegar, it's just pushing stuff out, cleaning the pipe. Not a lot of disinfecting going on with vinegar. And I'd rather smell bleach than vinegar myself.
It just tells me that it's clean. Vinegar makes me think it's Easter.
Right. We're dying eggs.
That's right.
Hey, it's right around the corner.
It is crazy, right? It's like almost here. So I feel like we've covered everything. We're about to get back into, I say we're about to get back into spring, but I feel like we're here already. So are there any kind of like tips and tricks that you'd like to share with folks so they can begin to start that process? So
February is typically our coldest month, right? And last year it proved it with the snow that we had.
So, I'd forgotten about that.
Right, so we still got February to go through, and as soon as we get through February, that spring cleaning, that March, that's when things start to really go. I think that in March it's time to really assess, like, where's my dirt levels in my home? Is it time to get this duct clean? Is it time to go in to get this UV light? because you're going into pollen season, right? And if you've got a heavy dust in your home now, the pollen's going to get in there just as bad. So I feel like when we get into spring, that's when you really need to start pushing the indoor air quality. You can see it, you can smell it at that time of year, you can feel it in the air. So
you can feel it in your forehead.
Right, exactly. So these UV lights, they help with pollen, they keep them down. The electric static filter helps with dirt and dander, and then like I say, that ozone machine gives us the smells where we've got a clean feeling house.
Well, it's getting to be that time where you're going to have to start thinking about this stuff, right? So we hopefully we don't have that wild snow again. That was, or unless you liked it. Then,
yeah, I liked it. I liked the snow.
I've never in my life seen that kind of powder here. I've seen it in Colorado. I've seen it in states where they're known for snow, but I've never seen that here.
So I've never been in Colorado, so I was super happy to get. I walked into my house and I was throwing snowballs at my kids, and I didn't get in trouble. So that's how you know it's rare.
It's okay.
Right? So we had a good time.
You see that number at the bottom of your screen, 864-9351, TillmanSeatingandAir.com. If you have any questions, if you want them to come out and look at, if you have a new unit, if you have a new home, if you want them to just come out and take a look at your system, make sure that you're up and running and you're ready to go, give them a call. He's got a team of folks there in the office that can get you on the right path, and then get your unit service. Make sure it's doing its job.
Make sure it's ready for the upcoming snow. I'm hoping.
Upcoming snow. There you go. Get ready for that snow. All right. Thanks for joining us this week on Expert Alert. We will see you right back here next Thursday. Have a great week.
Thank you for joining us for Expert Alert. We'll feature more experts at the same time next Thursday.